Good morning. Welcome to today's video. We're going to be watching Game of Thrones Season 3, Episode 7. So I've been enjoying this series so far. Season 3, I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favorite season, but it's been good. Very well done. There's been some shocking things that have happened as well. Jaime Lannister losing his hand. That was pretty crazy. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to like. Yeah, it's been pretty good. But I am looking forward to it. Hopefully we see more about Arya. Hopefully she gets back to the Stark family soon. And yeah, we'll just jump right into things. So hopefully you're excited. Leave a like if you're enjoying the series, and we'll get started.
Well, it's the rhythm.
What do you mean? Right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. What, you need help remembering that? When Mance gives the signal and we hit Castle Black, we won't be banging on drums to let them know we're coming.
No.
That rain will come.
So I'd be a little upset too if I was climbing up, an icy wall and then I got the rope cut off from under me or from above me. That would upset me a little bit too. So I understand why he's a little flustered about it. But yeah, I mean, it's the survival of the fittest, I guess. Plus, they don't want to mess up the mission just because, losing 2 men or losing the entire mission. Between those choices, I guess they made the right call. I don't know. But I'd be holding it against him.
As he likes. He's getting the wedding he wanted.
He's getting a wedding. It was a king he wanted.
Edmure is the best match a Freya's had in the history of their house. We should all get some sleep.
It's still not fair. It's not fair that the King Stark, I mean, why didn't he have to pay the price of marrying somebody else? I don't understand why he gets away with it so easily. I just don't think it's fair that, now this other guy has to get married. But I don't know, the other guy seemed more okay with it than I was, so.
I have your little prince or princess inside me.
Maybe one of each?
Don't get greedy.
I love you. Do you hear me? I love you.
Very aggressive, I love you. I love you. Do you hear me? I love you. Like, I don't know about these two. Okay, so they're having a baby. That's interesting. Distraction from the war. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be born in times of war, I mean, I guess what would I do or no? I'd be a baby. So I guess it's not that big of a deal, but I don't know. I mean, good for them, I guess. I'm still a little like, come on. Like, why'd you marry her? I don't know. Now you're having a kid. You don't even know where your own brothers are or your sisters. Well, you know where one of them is, but I don't know. Good for them, I suppose, but that's interesting.
If you would, if you were mine, I'd tell you that you're beautiful, fierce, wild. I'd be good to you. You love him. Because he's pretty, is that it?
This guy kind of creeps me out a little bit. I don't know. I mean, it's not so much that he cut him off the ropes. I can kind of understand that. He's just kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know what I think about him. I just don't trust him, I guess. Now he's trying to take Jon Snow's girl. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to do any good, but he's just strange. He's just strange.
You like his pretty hair and his pretty eyes.
Tell me about the Targaryen girl in the east and her dragons.
Where did you hear about this?
Is it true?
Apparently so.
Don't you think we ought to do something about it?
When I was Hand of the King under your father's predecessor, the skulls of all the Targaryen dragons were kept in this room. The skull of the last of them was right here. It was the size of an apple.
And the biggest was the size of a carriage.
Yes, and the creature to whom it belonged died 300 years ago. Curiosities on the far side of the world are no threat to us.
But how do we know these dragons are just curiosities and not the beasts that brought the whole world to heel?
Because we have been told as much by the many experts who serve the realm by counseling the king on matters about which he knows nothing.
But I haven't been counseled.
You are being counseled at this very moment.
I should be consulted about such things.
From now on, I will see to it that you are appropriately consulted on important matters, whenever necessary. Your Grace.
Yunkai.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So they think the dragons are just small creatures, nothing to worry about. I understand, if they're on the other part of the world, I understand why that's something that Mr. Lannister there, Lord Lannister is doesn't seem to mind or doesn't seem worried about. They've got their own problems with the Starks right now. To worry about this other army of dragons. I mean, I don't know if they even know they have an army. But I can understand where he's coming from. I understand the king too, questioning it, but nobody likes King Joffrey. Not even his own family. Maybe his mother, but everybody else doesn't like him. He's a kid, a dumb kid, and very evil. Very evil. Still can't believe he killed that girl last episode. That was pretty crazy.
How many slaves are there in Yunkai?
200,000, if not more.
Then we have 200,000 reasons to take the city. Theokitorumite veshikas. Belmulte vestreske sir ponte giorina. Se ponjon obulia yon mazurina. Lodar henkos veshos se hai astropot Yunkai putilsa.
Wow. Wasn't expecting that. Is that her new role that she's partaking now? Just going around freeing all the slaves? I mean, good for her. I mean, it's worked out well for her thus far, but I figured it was more because she saw pity on them or, experienced what they were going through firsthand. Like, I mean, visually, like she was there seeing it happen. I didn't think she was just going to go city to city taking all the slaves. But, I mean, cool. Good for her.
The wise masters of Yunkai have sent a gift for the Silver Queen. There is far more than this awaiting you on the deck of your ship.
My ship?
Yes, Khaleesi. As I said, we are a generous people. You shall have as many ships as you require.
And what do you ask in return?
All we ask is that you make use of these ships. Sail them back to Westeros where you belong, and leave us to conduct our affairs in peace.
I have a gift for you as well. Your life.
My life.
And the lives of your wise masters, but I also want something in return. You will release every slave in Yunkai. Every man, woman, and child shall be given as much food, clothing, and property as they can carry as payment for their years of servitude. My gold. You gave it to me, remember? And I shall put it to good use. You'd be wise to do the same with my gift to you. Now get out.
The Yunkish are proud people.
Wow. Wow. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the gold and the ships, that could have helped her tremendously. I don't know if it's worth the risk, you know, to fight another city, especially one with such strong walls, supposedly. I mean, the dragons can fly right over them, but, you know, you could lose a dragon or two if they got arrows and stuff. I mean, it might take a little bit to take one of them down, but they're not fully grown. So I just don't know if it's worth the risk. I appreciate what she's trying to do in freeing the slaves. Like, that's very honorable. But everybody has slaves. Well, not everybody. Well, I don't know. I mean, most people do in this era. I guess the Starks don't have any slaves necessarily. And I don't know if the Lannisters have slaves. I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, there's a lot of people that work for the Starks and work for the Lannisters, but I don't know if they're slaves per se. I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting moves. We shall see what happens, but I don't know. I don't know if it's worth risking your dragons over this. But, I mean, and I'm talking tactfully. Obviously, reality is, you know, it's not right to have slaves. You know, it's not good, but it just tactfully, I don't know if that's a wise decision to just pick fights with everywhere you go, you know? Because you also got to think not only about the dragons, but those guys that you know, freed and are working for you now. Like, you're putting their life at risk if you attack. And like they said, it's not the wisest to attack them while they're in the walls. Like, they need their army to come out and meet them for them to be successful. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'm your whore. And when you are tired of fucking me, I will be nothing.
I understand why she's upset. I mean, I can see both sides, I guess, to an extent. I mean, I feel bad for her. I wish the imp would just go against his father and not marry Sansa and run off with her. But he's got a good point. How would he provide for them? Juggle? You know, I mean, surely he could be a farmer, though. I mean, he might not like it. And it's got to be hard for him, too, though, because, you know, giving away his life as a lord, you know, Lord Lannister. I don't know. I mean, I think he should, really, if he really cares about her. She's got a good point. You know, when he's tired of sleeping with her, he'll just move on to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it looks like. I don't think that's truly how he feels about her. Like, I think he does love her, but I mean, he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know, there's not really a good decision. I think there's a right decision, you know, morally and out of love, if he really does love her. I think there is a good decision. But at the same time, I mean, his father killed the last person he married that was a whore. So, like, who's to say his father wouldn't come and kill him, too? So it's not only a moral and love to consider. You got to consider whether or not you're going to be hunted down and killed. So I don't think his father would think twice about that.
Your blood is noble.
You saying my father, he was some lord or...
There. Your father's house.
I'm just a bastard.
The bastard of Robert of the House Baratheon. First of his name, King of the Andals and the First Man. Why do you think the Gold Cloaks wanted you? There is power in a king's blood.
Very interesting. I didn't think she would take him back to King's Landing. Hopefully she protects him. I still don't trust the lady. I don't know if I like her or not. It's interesting, though, because the group that Arya's with, I don't mind them as much. And they, worship the same god or follow the same god. So maybe she's not as evil as I think. But there's just so many things going on. There's so many different aspects of the show to follow. Everybody's doing their own thing, but it's all connected in some form or fashion. So, I mean, it's the Game of Thrones. So I don't know. It's interesting.
One day you'll understand. But now...
Vanguard, bring her back. Come back!
Kick all you like, Wolfgar. Won't do you no good.
Wow. Didn't realize the dog was going to be around. Oh, man. Wonder what he's been doing, hiding in the shadows there? Jeez. I bet he's going to take her back to the Lannisters, though. But he's a kind of a traitor of his own, He ran away from them, so maybe he can't go back there. But he knows she's a piece in the chess game, so important player. Wow. Interesting. Wasn't expecting him to be lurking in the woods, but why not?
Miranda knows what she's doing. Let her. She trained as a scepter, only. She had other urges.
So did the Septons, only they lied about it.
Who are these girls? What? Is he dreaming?
Would you say it's your most precious part?
Please, mercy, mercy!
This is mercy. I'm not killing you. Just making a few alterations.
No! 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 Please! No! No! No, please!
Well. Glad they didn't show that. I was not ready to see that. Wow. Wow. Who are these people torturing this guy? Well, I guess he figured that out last episode, but man, it's just excessive. Ugh.
Kingdoms, 6 times they failed.
And how do you know that?
Every boy in the north knows it. We grow up learning it. Where the battles were fought, the names of the heroes, who died where. 6 times you've invaded, and 6 times you've failed. The 7th will be the same.
Mance is different.
You don't have the discipline. You don't have the training. Your army is no army. You don't know how to fight together.
You don't know that.
I do. I know it. If you attack the wall, you'll die. All of you.
All of us.
Oh boy. I don't know if I would have admitted that to her. But also, yeah, you said all of you. You didn't say all of us. You're showing your cards, Jon Snow. I don't know. I still don't know what his game plan is, but I don't think it's going to end well for him. And yes, I'm saying that because I saw a spoiler of Jon Snow getting shot with an arrow. I've been told he doesn't actually die, but I think he does die. I don't know when that's coming though. And it sucks that I know that. That's why I try not to Google anything. But that one in particular, it just showed up on my Facebook. And I don't post anything on Facebook about Game of Thrones, so just dumb luck, I guess. Or the Facebook gods knowing what I'm doing with my life. That's probably more what it is, but
What's the purpose of an arm with no hand?
Well, we've stymied the corruption.
Yes, we've stymied the corruption.
We have to return to Harrenhal.
Why?
I've left something behind.
Absolutely not. I've got orders from Lord Bolton.
And what are those orders?
To deliver you to your father at King's Landing.
You think you'll get a reward?
I serve Lord Bolton. Any appreciation
You
your
think
father...
you're getting a reward? Let me explain something to you. When my father sees me, the first thing he's going to ask is, what happened to my hand? And I'm going to tell him, this man chopped it off.
I had
Or
nothing...
I could tell him, this man saved my life. We return to Harrenhal. Now.
Wow. So he's going to go back and try and save the girl. I mean, that's great. She doesn't deserve that. I can't believe they offered money for her and they don't care. So she's probably not going to make it through the night from what the guy was saying that was working on Jaime Lannister's stub. Man, that's really cool. Jaime Lannister showing a different side of him. But I mean, he does owe the girl. I mean, she helped him quite a bit. So they've been good for each other as far as, helping each other out and such.
Oh, this is one shameful fucking performance. Stop running and fight!
A wooden sword.
Thought you'd gone.
You gave her a wooden sword.
You've only got one bear.
I'll pay her bloody ransom. Gold, sapphires, whatever you want. Just get her out of there.
Oh, you lords and ladies. Still think that the...
He gave her a wooden sword to fight a bear? What a jerk. He just wants to watch her die. That's pretty bad. Man, hopefully Jaime is able to do something, but this guy doesn't like Jaime. I mean, he took his hand off of him. He doesn't care what he offers. He doesn't like him. Man, is Jaime going to be able to do something? I mean, he's only got one arm.
The only thing that matters is gold.
Get behind me.
Will not.
Bolton charged me with bringing him back to King's Landing, alive, and that's what I aim to do. Pull her up!
That's awesome. That's awesome. What a guy. Man. One-handed man jumps in to fight a bear. What a guy. Man, maybe Jaime's not as evil as he seems. I don't know. I mean, he said he owed her a debt, but geez. Putting your own life at risk like that for her. I mean, she was there for him some, and I don't know. Man. Puts him in a whole new light. I don't know. That's impressive. I don't know if they're going to let him go back to King's Landing now with her, but I don't know. At least she's not dead, I guess.
What do you think is more important to Lord Bolton? Getting his pet rat a reward or ensuring Tywin Lannister gets his son back alive? Well, we must be on our way. Sorry about the sapphires.
Wow. Wow, there he is, standing on his own 2 feet, one hand and everything. Wow. Good for him. Good for him. I did not see that coming. Man. Wow. Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to finish listening to this song here at the end. I'm going to let you guys go. I'll see you here in just a little bit. Ready? I'm not that great at editing. Well, there you have it. Game of Thrones. Wow. What an ending to the episode. Man, I wasn't expecting any of that. It really makes me kind of look at Jaime Lannister differently a little bit. Like, it's almost like he lost his hand, and well, even before that, really, he's just starting to seem like more of a decent human. I don't know. I mean, he's still a Lannister, but just that's not the Jaime I knew. Throwing himself in front of a bear to save the girl, the knight. Brienne of Tarth. I mean, going back to save her when he knew that she was in trouble, like, that's just pretty impressive. And him, basically demanding that he go back and then throwing himself in front of this aggressive bear to save her. Like, that's pretty honorable. Like, that's really awesome. I don't think I can just overlook that. I, have a lot of negative opinions about Jaime Lannister. He's just kind of a show off, and he's just kind of, he thinks he's this great guy. I mean, but even so, he was having talks with Brienne of Tarth. He was having talks with her beforehand in the pool, And it was just kind of showing him in a different light, you know. Yeah, he's the Kingslayer, but you know, he had good reason for doing it. And now to go back and save her, that's just pretty impressive. And I don't know. I mean, I'm still on the fence. I'm not 100% on Jaime Lannister's side, or, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's just interesting. Some of the Lannisters have been doing some good things. I mean, take Tyrion, for example. Tyrion? The Imp. I mean, he's done a lot of good things for not necessarily the Starks. Well, yeah, I mean, Sansa, like, he seems to care about her and her well-being. I don't know. It's interesting. The only one I'm certain of is Joffrey, King Joffrey. I do not like him. I think he's a terrible king. I mean, he's just a child, but he's messed up. But yeah, this was a really good episode. I really did enjoy it. I liked watching it back as well. There was a couple things I definitely missed. So you know, rewatching, I thought, for example, the Stark boys talking about the three-eyed raven and all that. It was really interesting hearing the gal's story. Her name's slipping my head, but the gal that was helping them get to the wall, you know, to be with Jon Snow. Hearing her backstory just was enlightening. You know, you learned about that and her experiences north of the wall. There was just a lot going on. Arya with the dog. I mean, I don't know what he has planned. I hope Arya stays safe. I don't think he'll do anything to her to physically hurt her, but I don't know where he's planning to take her. There's just a lot to unpack. I mean, we knew the blacksmith boy. We knew he was a bastard. We knew he was the king's son. I didn't know other people knew that, but I mean, obviously some people knew that, but you know, like, but what's the play for taking him back to King's Landing? I mean, won't they just kill him? I mean, he's with the lady in red, and she's got a little bit of a army. I don't think a very large one, but you know that she'll definitely protect him because she says he's a key player, kind of thing. And then also, well, Greyjoy. Then Greyjoy, like, that's pretty traumatic. I like, are they just trying to break him down even more than what he already is? Taking, I don't know. I don't know if they're taking the whole thing or just his balls. I don't know. But that's, geez, like how bad can it get for that guy? It's just one thing after another. I swear he was dreaming when those girls came in. I'm like, what? Like, I just thought he was dreaming. You know, it's insane. And then what I wanted to mention as well, Khaleesi with trying to free all the slaves. Like, that's really impressive, but I just don't know. Like, the thing that you got to consider, I mean, I mentioned the dragons, but even more so than that, if she's so keen on freeing all the slaves, what about the slaves that she just freed that are following her now? Shouldn't she consider their life would be at risk if she attacks the city? And I'm sure she's thought of that. You know, she seems like she has plans and such, but it's just, I don't know if the risk, I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think, you know, and part of it too, part of my thought process, you know, there's modern slavery today. You know, you think of China and other countries, not just China, but there are people enslaved there, and you don't see other countries going to war against them to free the slaves. Maybe we should, or maybe it should happen, but you just don't see that. And Khaleesi, she's just going for it. And I like, it's a good thing, but I just, you know, to me, I thought her whole game was she wants to be on the throne, you know, but it seems like there's more to it than that. Freeing slaves, I mean, yeah, she might gain some followers out of it. You know, she might gain more people for her army, but she doesn't seem just concerned about that. She just seems concerned about freeing the slaves. And you just don't see that. So I mean, that's awesome. You know, she was getting on my nerves for a while just with some of her, it just seems like kind of hot-headed, I guess just, excuse me, but a little bitchy at times. But man, I mean, she's showing her true colors too, but also like Jaime Lannister. I know we talked about him, but my goodness. I mean, maybe he doesn't care as much about his own life now that he's missing his hand, but I don't think it's that. I don't think he's just being reckless. I don't know. I'm even after watching that episode twice, because like obviously I watch it once when I film while I watch it, and then I edited it and I watched the entire thing from start to finish. So I end up watching every episode twice. Even after watching that episode twice, I'm still a little speechless. And it's just, there was a lot in this episode. It was a really good episode. Really well done by everybody involved. I don't know what's next. I don't know what's next. Man, this show can be stressful and gross and terrifying. But it's just, you know, sometimes it feels like it's a train wreck, but you can't take your eyes off of it. You know, you got to finish it. You got to watch it till it crashes. And I don't mean it like a train wreck, like the show's a train wreck. Certain characters, I feel like they're going off the rails, and it may be good, maybe bad, you know. I mean, and we've already seen that. I mean, it's got to be, you know, because of the books, but we've already seen it doesn't matter what character you are. It doesn't matter if you're a Stark. It doesn't matter if you're the Stark, Ned Stark. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. They could kill anyone at any time. And I obviously, if I've read the books, I'd probably have more insight into everything that was happening, which I've not. And I'm not going to, at least not until I finish the show. But I just, you don't know. Like, and you start to really appreciate people's characters, and then they could just be gone. And but you can't stop watching, you know. I don't know. Crazy episode. So appreciate everybody that watched this. I know I've brought this up before, but I'm sorry about the whole name thing. I'm just not very good with names. I'm just not. I'm trying my best. I know who the characters are now, at least. You know, I know who they are. I might not be able to name them, but if I see their face, like, I know who they are in my mind. It just doesn't always come across well. You know, I hope you're still enjoying these series. Like I said last episode, I am going to continue this because I know that there's at least some of you that still appreciate these videos, so I'm going to continue filming them and uploading them, and hopefully you'll stick with me. But, you know, I appreciate every one of you. Thanks for being here, and I'll hopefully see you next week with another video of Game of Thrones. But regardless, you all have a good rest of your day, and take care. Bye!